Okay, so hello everyone. My name is Riikka Alakoski. I am a PhD researcher from the University of Helsinki. And today I'm here to present my supervisor's article, Teaching Mathematics in Innovative Learning Environments. And I will talk a little bit about teachers' experiences in Finnish new innovative learning environments and tensions affecting the use of the IEL and environmental competence. So the aim of the study was to understand the relationship between the learning environment and pedagogy. And to specify, we wanted to know how teachers exploit the IEL and also what factors influence the use of the IEL. And IEL is the innovative learning environment. And for that, we had 10 Finnish public schools, of which structural solution and furniture solution were flexible, collaborative. And we had 4 kind of IELs. We had schools with just open space. Then we have schools with open space and classes around that open space. And we have schools with common plaza area and classes around that plaza area. And fourth, we had a kind of most traditional form, classrooms with removable walls between the classes. And we interviewed 26 primary school teachers, and the context was mathematics teaching in the IEL. And the starting point for analyzing the data was the environment as a social construction. And this next figure is based on Binet, and he says that the use of the IEL is the combination of 3 different spaces. We have the designed physical space, of course, and then we have individual teachers' inner spaces, their knowledge, attitudes, dispositions toward the space. And third, we have a school community social space, including the school management. And this is like communication, interaction, and cooperation. And between these 3 spaces, there are positive and negative tensions affecting the use of the IEL. So a little bit our results. During the interviews, we found that the IEL affects to the pedagogy roughly in 2 ways. It can affect teaching methods, and it can affect teacher collaboration and the way they group students. And in this particle study, teachers said that they use same kind of mathematics teaching methods, same kind of lesson structure that they used in the traditional learning environments. They also said that mathematics teaching was usually teacher-led. So the teaching methods, the IEL had a little impact on teaching methods in mathematical lessons. But instead, they said that the IEL had increased teacher collaboration and changed the way they group students to more flexible and collaborative way. And this, in turn, had increased teachers' well-being at work. Diverse mathematics teaching, able teachers to teach students at their own level, which in turn had reduced working disruptions. And also teachers said that these new groupings had increased student self-direction, performance, and peer learning skills. However, the use of the IEL varied a lot between the schools, but also between the teams in the same schools. So it was not the IEL, but the tensions between the spaces I talked about earlier. So we started from here, that there are 3 spaces and tensions entangled to these spaces. And we found some concrete explanation causing tension to the use of the IEL. For example, as design space flexibility, furniture solutions, access routes, and material storages. And also the decision making the decisions and management made, such as team structures, teaching facilities, teaching schedules, and support and training management gave to the teams. But as I said, that the aisle, the teachers used really different ways the aisle in the same schools between the different teams, where these concrete explanations were kind of the same. So there has to be more, we think. And we concluded that as the aisle is the space where teachers have to collaborate, it guides teachers heavily to collaborate. These three spaces over here is not quite enough, but there is also fourth space, which it doesn't. Oh no. Yes. The inner social space, which is kind of self-repeating cycle where individual teachers, inner spaces, the individual environmental competence, knowledge and skills, how to work in these new environments, the attitudes, work experience, dispositions toward the space affect teaching teams' pedagogical practices. But also at the same time, teaching teams' social space, their social environmental competence, school learning culture affect individual teachers' practices. So even if in the teams there is, for example, one or two individual teachers who want to develop their actions, teaching teams' social space can limit that development. And lastly, the organization and its decision-making support they give to the teams affect this inner social space. So we found out that the aisle can affect and make positive changes to mathematics education and mathematics teaching. But the interesting question for me is how we can change the negative tensions from this inner social space to positive and make this good good okay make these good things happen. So we suggest that we need four kind of environmental competence. First, we suggest that we need environmental competence of the design process. Many of the teachers said that they were able to make wishes during the design process, but it was not active dialogue or participation. So we need to school communities' active participation in the design process. And in that way, we can increase the pedagogical knowledge of the design solutions, but also at the same time, we can increase individual teachers' individual environmental competence. As the teacher said, that they don't have enough skills or knowledge to work in these new environments, especially when the environment gets more open, or if the, for example, student population get more challenging. So for that, we need participation, but also spatial training in the universities and in service. The third element is social environmental competence. Many of the teachers said that they don't know what the new environment is aiming for. They were like, why we fix something that it's not broken, when they spoke about the traditional learning environments. So for that, we need shared vision for the aisle that schools and the school communities make together shared vision, which is keeping alive in everyday practice. And also the teachers who exploited the aisle successfully highlighted the importance of work guidance for the teams to work together. And fourth and lastly, we need organizational environmental competence. The transformation process of the learning environment is a big challenge for schools. And as the aisles change the way teaching is organized, it at the same time change the way the school is organized, what kind of decisions we have to make, what kind of support and training teachers will need. And for that, we think that principals need more training, how to lead the transformation process and also the implementation of the new school. And also, I have a question mark on this one. I'm now studying principals' experience of the transformation process, but I think that we may have to rethink the who is making the decisions and maybe need more shared leadership between the teams and the principals. But I know in the future more about this one. Thank you. It was a pleasure.